Welcome to another episode of the International Volleyball Academy. Today we will map out the training progression of serve reception, once again tailored specifically for all age categories. Steady arms are the foundation of serve reception. Hands can be joined in various ways, but the ulnar sides of the wrists must always be touching. The forearms and elbows should be kept close together, with the arms fully extended and the inner side facing upward. The elbows push forward, the wrists point downward, the shoulders roll slightly forward, and the head leans forward, creating a sunken chest and rounded back. The feet should be positioned wider than shoulder width apart, with weight shifted onto the toes.
In the first drill, children learn to hold the ball on extended arms to avoid swinging their arms like a baseball bat. A useful exercise is stopping a bouncing ball on the forearms, which reinforces stability. From the very beginning, we emphasize the fundamental principle: active feet, steady arms. We then continue with receiving the ball over the net along a parabolic trajectory, allowing young players to adjust their foot movement in response to the ball's flight path. However, in a real game, the ball travels at higher speeds, approximately 60 to 120 kilometers per hour, on a flatter trajectory, making it often impossible to receive directly in front of the body. To prepare players for this, we use a progressive approach, starting with catching drills that emphasize active foot movement, followed by exercises with a jump rope held between extended arms to reinforce proper posture, and finally catching the ball secured between the forearms at high speed. We return to the bouncing ball stopping drill, but this time the ball approaches quickly on a flat trajectory. It's no longer an easy task, but thanks to the skills and tools we have provided, the children can handle it. Now they have mastered ball control and fully understand the fundamental principle: active feet, steady arms.
In volleyball for children under 12, the ball often travels slowly along a parabolic trajectory, giving players enough time to adjust their foot positioning. Due to the low speed, they use a technique where both the arms and legs push in the direction of the deflected ball. To prevent excessive arm swinging, similar to a baseball bat motion, we introduce drills where a different action follows the forearm pass, bump. This helps stabilize arm movement and improves control. For example, the bump to overhead pass combination is excellent for preparatory games, which are both fun and engaging for young players. By ages 12 to 13, players are already capable of combining the bump with an attacking hit, bringing them closer to real game situations. This reflects the reality where, after a serve or an opponent's attack, the ball reaches the receiving player at a much higher speed. We test this through preparatory games. We distinguish between the reception of a free ball, slow ball, and a fast ball, high-speed ball, because they require different techniques. For a free ball, the player pushes the ball forward upon contact. In contrast, for a fast ball, the player must absorb the impact to control it. These differences are evident in both muscular engagement and biomechanics of movement.
One of the most challenging aspects is teaching children to position their body's center of gravity into the ball's flight path when receiving a ball that is traveling low and to the side. Children easily understand when we tell them to get to the ball with their belly button. At this point, we reference a drill from their training at U12 level. We are talking about a situation where the ball is moving beside the player but remains relatively low, at waist height at most. During this stage of player development, patience is essential for coaches, and encouragement is crucial for young athletes. This is one of the most difficult phases of volleyball progression for children, as at ages 12 to 13, the serve is significantly stronger than the reception. It takes time and consistent training before players can handle it effectively. A common mistake is categorizing techniques as basic or supplementary. Serve reception consists of various situations, and players must be prepared for all of them. We train not only foot movement, but also the final positioning of the feet for every possible reception scenario.
When the ball is flying high toward the head, the player must respond differently. Small backward foot adjustments and rotation around the planted foot help create space for absorption between the torso and arms. However, there is often not enough time for a backward step, so the player resolves the situation solely by rotating. This movement is trained from an early age. A critical factor in this drill is ensuring that the ball travels at high speed and is actually directed at head height. If the ball is aimed at the waist or even the knees, this technique loses its purpose. Additionally, we must ensure that the angle between the torso and the arms remains constant throughout the action, even when the contact occurs behind the player's body. Rotating around the planted foot often results in contact with the ball while both feet are airborne without ground support. In many cases, there is simply no other option.
By the age of 14, players should be able to effectively control powerful serves and coordinate the footwork, torso, and forearm platform. At this stage, we refine arm positioning to ensure precise ball targeting. The forearms are adjusted perpendicularly to the ball, and we strictly reinforce keeping the arms connected even after contact. Serve reception is not just about lifting the ball, but about accurately directing it to the setter in a controlled arching trajectory. Training should consistently include target-specific drills to develop precision. In modern volleyball, it is not always possible to maintain a two-footed base due to the speed of the ball. We train players in a wide range of locomotive movements, including receiving beside the body, lateral movement, reception while falling, or even one-handed passes. Simply put, movement flexibility in every situation is essential.
When receiving a float serve, we prefer a starting position closer to the net, as a serve directed at the body is easier to handle than one dropping short in front of the player. Positioning too far from the net increases this risk. Some female players choose a deeper starting position, while male players tend to position themselves further forward, as they generally have stronger arms and more frequently receive the ball with an overhead pass.
The activation movement in serve reception begins with the split step, which occurs after the serve is hit. It operates based on the biomechanical principle of the stretch-shortening cycle. The player briefly leaves the ground, a mini-jump, storing potential energy. Upon landing, this energy transforms into kinetic energy, allowing for a quicker reaction and explosive movement. Unlike the jump serve, where the split step happens almost immediately, in float serve reception, it usually occurs when the ball has traveled about halfway between the server and the receiver. After the split step, the player may execute an additional small movement, possibly a dive, or proceed directly to ball contact without adjusting their position further. Now comes the actual contact with the ball. The player absorbs the ball's energy in various ways, such as moving backward, using only the arms, straightening the torso. At times, they cannot avoid receiving while falling. We must also incorporate the overhead reception technique. Unlike a set, where contact is made primarily with the fingers, in reception, the ball is allowed deeper into the palms, providing better control.
We now focus on receiving a jump serve, a key element of offensive play, especially in men's volleyball. The starting position is deeper, often around 8 meters from the net. As the server tosses the ball, the receiver typically steps forward 1 or 2 steps, but further adjustments depend on the trajectory of the serve. With serves reaching speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour, The main objective is to keep the ball in play, ensuring at least a high set for an attack and preventing a direct point for the opponent. The same principle applies to women's volleyball, although jump serves are less common in the women's game. Before the serve, receivers remain calm. In men's volleyball, it is common for players to rest their palms on their thighs. Some utilize priming, an ideomotor preparation technique to anticipate the play.
Now comes the familiar split step. Its timing depends on the serve's speed. The faster the serve, the closer the split step occurs to the server's contact with the ball. In the women's game, the split step occurs slightly later, as their jump serves are typically 20 to 30 kilometers per hour slower than in men's volleyball. After the split step, the actual serve reception begins. Sometimes the player manages a small foot adjustment, while other times they react only by adjusting their platform. Most often, the player absorbs the ball's energy depending on the situation, using techniques such as moving the body or arms backward, receiving between the legs, receiving to the side, dropping to the knees, straightening the torso, jumping backward, receiving while falling. In some cases, a powerful serve can quite literally knock the receiver off balance. We must train players to react to high-speed serves as early as age 12. Over time, receiving a jump serve begins to resemble digging in the backcourt. The primary goal is to control a serve traveling over 100 kilometers per hour by any means necessary to keep the play alive. Training methods are similar to defensive digging drills, whether practiced in pairs or trios. In fact, digging drills serve as excellent preparation for receiving jump serves. And of course, the wall remains our best training tool for 14-year-olds, along with Czech national team libero drills.
A well-equipped receiver must also develop the ability to read the ball's flight path and, in a split second, decide whether to let the ball go out of bounds. This skill improves with experience, and elite volleyball players develop an exceptionally sharp eye for making these quick judgments. What's coming up next? We still have digging to cover, and we will break it down just as we have with other skills. From the first roll through falling techniques, all the way to advanced digging methods and goalkeeper-like defensive movements, which closely resemble volleyball blocking behaviors. Ultimately leading us back to elite-level execution.